So I saw this post on the Pokemon TCG subreddit that I wanted to show you guys here and talk about, specifically with the title. But we'll talk about this whole post and then I'll tell you guys why I don't really agree with this title. So the title is "This Kind of Hoarding, aka Investing, whatever you want to call it, hoarding, investing, it's the same thing, is killing the hobby." So just remember this sentence and I'm going to show you guys here why I don't really agree with it. So we can see the product and the listing they're talking about here is for Crown Zenith Sea and Sky premium collection boxes. And as you can see here, this is on Facebook Marketplace. They have listed it for 150 bucks and they have a large amount of them. Now, I have to admit, because if you've been on this channel for a little bit of time now, you may know that I, at one point, yes, scalped these. I have to admit it. I'm being upfront here. If you're new, you may have not known that, but this was basically the only time I really scalped. Now, I want to talk about this product because if you're new, you may have not known about this product and where it came out and the time it came out. So this product was pretty much a Sam's Club exclusive, and it was a Sam's Club exclusive, right? These Sea and Sky boxes. And when this came out, it was like late last year. It was not during the time of the craziness of Pokemon. It was not there yet, right? Pokemon, yeah, there was still it was not dead, but it wasn't crazy, right? At this time in the market, Pokemon scalping really wasn't talked about that much, like at all. It wasn't really a thing. But there was some, flippability with this product specifically because of just how great of a deal it was. And during this time, Crown Zenith ETBs, I believe, were still well under $100. So at this point, Crown Zenith wasn't really at that point of being crazy like it is now. These came out in a totally different time in the market. They were just before the crazy hype of Pokemon and where we're at now. This came out when Pokemon wasn't there yet. So you got to understand when this came out. And when this came out, these were sitting here at Sam's Club. I'm telling you, it was like that. I know it seems impossible now, right? Like there's no product on any shelves. When this came out, these were sitting. And I can tell you from firsthand experience because yes, at one point I bought these at Sam's Club at a decent amount. I don't have them anymore, but yes, at one point I did buy these and I was sort of evil. But like I said, you got to understand this was a different time and these were sitting. So I remember one day I came into Sam's Club and I saw these, right? But at the time, I didn't even think much about it. I'm like, whatever. Because at this time, like I said, Crown Zenith, all this stuff, they weren't none of this stuff was really that expensive, right? But then I came back a few weeks later and they were still there. And I thought about it and I checked, online. I'm like, you know what? I could buy these right now. And if I really wanted to, I could literally sell them and make a minuscule profit. And that's sort of what I did. Yes, I admit it up front. I'm not lying to you guys, not trying to hide anything. I did a little bit of scalping. But like I said, it was sort of at a different time in the market where people weren't going crazy. There weren't any fights. Literally, they were just sitting there. So, yeah, that's the story behind these Sea and Sky boxes. If you didn't know about them, they came out in a completely different market. This is not like some new product that was just released in the past few months. Nope, this was released before this crazy hype stuff. So just a little bit of background about Sea and Sky, the boxes that we're seeing here, and also just me, I guess, admitting that yes, at one point I did scalp them. I made a video about it. If you want to watch, you can find it on my channel. But yeah, so let's just read this post. A bit of a frustration post, nothing too crazy. If it doesn't follow the rules, I'm sorry, and feel free to take the post down. So they said it's nothing too crazy, but I guess they're saying it's killing the hobby, which is pretty brutal. But let's just read what they have to say here. Found this on Marketplace. 5K in product is insane. Lol. I picked one of these up for $45, so I guess it was like $45 when it came out, when it first hit shelves last year. And to see it being resold for $150, I know I appreciate it in value, but I still think it's crazy. Honestly, how does one even get a hold of this many? Well, like I told you, there was like a purchase limit of 10 of these, and they were sitting. So let's say one day you go there, you get 10, another day you go there, get 10. I'm telling you, they were sitting. So it's not that crazy. This person got a lot. And plus, I even forgot to mention this. They were available online too. I totally forgot to mention. And I'm pretty sure you could have bought 25 at one time. So yeah, I mean, it's not that surprising this guy got that many. I totally forgot to mention. They were available online too on Sam's Club. But anyways, but I guess it's a bit fair to resell at this much since it's been a while. So I guess they're somewhat agreeing with this reselling or whatever, but at the same time they're saying it's killing the hobby. But anyways, I would understand it more if it was just one or two, but there's more than like 60 boxes here. Regardless, I personally haven't found anything in months, and seeing people hoard and resell like this is wild. But anyways, I know it's very common, especially right now. Apologize again for whining about scalping. I know it probably gets repetitive and frustrating to see so many similar posts, but I just want to talk about it a little, get my thoughts out. So honestly, this person, out of all the different people that post on the subreddit, they're pretty, nice about it, and they seem to be pretty neutral, understanding the situation. Um, I honestly never thought I'd see somebody post like this on here, but they seem pretty reasonable. Now, yes, I understand. Seeing this much of a product that was obviously sold in retail stores when now you can't buy anything, yeah, it's a bad taste in your mouth, but it was in a different time, and they even said it here that it's been a while. Yes, it does sort of suck, like I said, but you got to understand this was in a very different time. So, yeah, I do understand, looking at this and you're like, wow, I can't even buy anything, and this person has all this stuff. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, you could buy large amounts online. I'm pretty sure it's like a 50 max per membership. You could have bought each order of 25. They were available in stores for months, and some stores even got restocked. So they were available. So the title here, though, that this kind of hoarding is killing a hobby. Maybe you could say that if this was prismatic in this picture, maybe you could. I would agree more. You could say, because obviously now prismatic is new release set, so it's super expensive. Whatever. Yeah, I would agree with the title more. But with Crown Zenith, really wouldn't say that. And I'm going to show you guys here an example of how hoarding or investing, whatever you want to call it, doesn't actually kill the hobby. It depends on the timing of where the hobby's at. So let's just read some of the comments, and I'll explain why I don't agree with the title here. People need to stop buying from scalpers. Like, that is the answer. Unless their wallets hurt from hoarding, nothing changes. You can do limits on a per store, but that only slows the hoarding. It takes people going without and just not buying sets. If they can't sell it and basically go bankrupt, then hopefully they will cash out and stop. But that's not going to be quick, easy, or quick. Now, if they're talking about this person being a scalper for this specific product, I mean, scalping usually means just totally just buying and flipping a product immediately, right? Within a few days, a week, whatever. But this person, these came out late last year. So it's been almost a year since they've bought these products. So is that scalping from, buying something from a retail store, then selling it like 9 months later? Is that what scalping is? Or is that the, term, whatever, investing, hoarding? I wouldn't really say it's scalping in that way, because, like I said, usually scalping is like automatically flipping. But yeah, I mean, we've heard people say this millions of times before. Whatever they argue here, we get it. Hoarding isn't killing the hobby. Buying from them does. Okay, another person saying the exact same thing. Haven't ripped packs in weeks. Hoarding. I mean, like I said, this was during a different time, but people obviously now, so whatever. These boxes sat in my Sam's Club for over a month. Kind of what I've talked about. Same with 151 UPCs at $80. I'm pretty sure they're talking about Costco or whatever. Like usual, people generally don't care about something until it becomes scarce or popular. That's true. This is nothing compared to the guy with over 450 boxes. I know you're looking somewhere. I'm pretty sure I may have made a video about that. Come out wherever you are. Last I heard, he sold off or condensed to half the amount. I get these sat at Sam's Club for a while, but there's no Sam's Club in my area, and I tried really hard to get some of these online when they were being stocked, but I only ever got my hands on one of them, and that was when my friends scored and we split it together. I mean, what does that have to mean, though? I mean, there's no Sam's Club in your area, so you don't want somebody to buy them even though it's not going to affect you. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. I used to buy these for $40 before Surging Sparks came out. Yeah, this was before, like, if that gives you any idea, right? This came out before Surging Sparks. I guess that was, I didn't know the exact time frame, but that makes sense. So just think about that. These came out before Surging Sparks did. Part of what makes these things valuable in the first place is that they go out in public and people form a connection with it. This behavior is preventing that from happening. Ironically, it's going to hurt their investment. No one gets attached to something they can't get, and they won't buy it later if they had no attachment to it. Now, this might be probably one of the worst comments here. I mean, it's obvious that this person literally just came here in the past 6 months, because yeah, I mean, if you knew how Crown Zenith was and how cheap it was for the longest time, and when this came out, this product I almost said Blooming Waters, when this Sea and Sky box came out, I'm telling you, these Sea and Sky boxes were like $80 on the secondary market. ETBs at this point, I believe they might have been maybe around 60, 70. They were not anywhere near 100. So yeah, I mean, this person obviously was not there during the time of the market. Crown Zenith was not expensive at all. Um, if you do not approve of this hoarding, don't buy from these people. You say it's appreciating in value, but it's not been out long enough to have some natural appreciation. This is all because of that manipulation, hoarding, and scalping investor bros crippling hobbies to make bleep all in the grand scheme of things. It's getting a proper job. Another person obviously mad. Take me back to pre-2020 when complete sets were achievable and you could walk down to any store and buy a product you want at or under MSRP. This person obviously just angry. I mean, this is totally wrong. There were so many products you could get after 2020 that were well below MSRP. We're talking about early Scarlet and Violet, even Sword and Shield. I mean, Sword and Shield, a lot of those boxes were sitting under MSRP for a very long time, so that is completely wrong. And obviously, people here saying that, I mean, what makes it long enough to have natural appreciation? That's up for interpretation. Manipulation, hoarding, scalping, all those words we all like. And then people just saying that we make no money. I guess investor bros make no money. I mean, do we look at Sword and Shield booster boxes that are like $400, $500, $600, and what were they at last year in the 200s? I mean, okay. I mean, obviously this person's just angry. So yeah, I get it. You look at this, you're upset. I mean, obviously this whole subreddit is always upset. We get it, right? But this product, it's not like Prismatic. It's not like the 151 Blooming Waters thing. This came out before the hype, and these boxes were in Crown Zenith were not that expensive at the time. So you got to understand that. And like I said, at the end here, I do want to talk about how I don't agree with this title here, that this kind of hoarding is killing the hobby. I'll give you a perfect example. So here we have obviously one of the most popular, people, investors, whatever. He's been around forever. You can see here when this video came out, okay? August 10th, 2023. He goes all in because he says here he buys a lot of these boxes. Now, I'm not exactly sure what boxes he's showing here. Probably, yes, some, Sword and Shield stuff. This is still during the time Sword and Shield was cheap. Okay, we got to add whatever, okay? There was a video he probably made where he also bought, a lot of Scarlet and Violet as well. I don't know if this is the exact video, but I'm showing you just the time frame here of, I guess, when this was made, right? And you see all those boxes, right? All those boxes, obviously, he's holding them. He bought them, I think, at a discount, and he's obviously holding on to them for investing purposes, right? So it's not going to market. You could say he's evil for doing that, but it is what it is, right? He's hoarding. He's killing the hobby, apparently, right? But let's just look at this for a second. During this time, Paldea evolved. He bought a lot of these. I know he did. I don't know if this is the exact video, but he did, right? When this video came out, right? August 2023. What were the prices of these boxes? Sub 90. See, this is what nobody talks about. People act like Pokemon's been expensive forever. Guys, just 2 years ago, booster boxes were coming out at $90. You can see here, the evidence is true. And if hoarding really does kill the hobby, if he was doing this at this time frame, why were these boxes sitting at $100 for like a whole year? Why is that the case? If it kills the hobby. It doesn't. It depends on the time of the market. Right now, you could say it does because there's a lot of demand for Prismatic, Destin, and if people buy them at retail shelves and there's a lot of demand, sure, you could say that inflates the prices. But just the fact of holding product, no, it does not kill the hobby. It doesn't do any of that because people were buying these boxes at $90. And what happened to the prices for a whole year? Absolutely nothing, because it's all about the demand. At this time, there were people buying these in large amounts, like here, right? But prices did nothing because there was no demand for it. So that's all I want to show you guys here. I don't agree with this title. In some times, yeah, it can, you could say ruin the hobby, you could say, like now with the newer products. But some older products like this, you can't really argue that because it was not like that when they came out. It's just that now everything's crazy and you could argue about everything. Anybody holding product is all evil because there's nothing on shelves. But in the reality of the situation, the times are different, right? Back then and now, if you compare the two, completely different times. And that's what we got to understand because, people were hoarding product for, years when these things were dirt cheap. And now everything's expensive and now everybody complains. So that's all I want to talk about here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with me. Do you think this title is true or not? For me, I don't believe it's true at all. Like I just showed you here, there was times when people were hoarding these in, this person, in pallets, and nothing happened to the prices for like a whole year. So that's all I want to talk about here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.